Back with another video for you today. We've got another house overview. We're talking about Pantheon Roma. Are you guys familiar with this house? Are you familiar with this house?
Thanks to you, I am.
Okay. Guys, if you have been following me for a while, I have one video on the channel of a fragrance from Pantheon Roma called Il Giardino. Forgot the name for a minute. But today we're doing a whole house overview, 11 fragrances. If you want to find out about them, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. That's Joe.
Hello.
So yeah, how are you familiar with these?
I was graciously granted a couple of samples by Sebastian before we shot this video, and it kind of opened me up to the brand a little bit, and I was able to wear some in different climates. I was in San Diego for a trip visiting some friends, and it was quite hot, so I was able to see how a few of them performed in that climate. And being in San Francisco, where, I mean, right now we have a bit of a heat wave, but
we have a heat wave here now.
Out of the ordinary, but for the most part, it has been the same old San Francisco summer, and I've been able to experience it in this climate. So I'm seeing kind of all angles of these fragrances.
So you have your favorites?
Yeah, I got 5 listed that I would definitely recommend anybody to buy.
Yeah, we're going to do the house overview, and then afterwards we're going to talk about our 5 favorites since there's so many. But we're starting off with a fragrance called ANNIVERSARIO. But before I talk about ANNIVERSARIO, these fragrances are sold over at Max Aroma, and I have a link in the info box. So I've been wanting to do a house overview on this house. It's not very easy to find this brand at retailers, but thankfully they are distributed and sold over at Max Aroma. So ANNIVERSARIO is the first fragrance. We're doing this in alphabetical order. This features notes of oud, strawberries, peach, coconut, saffron, sandalwood, heliotrope, orchid, rose, jasmine, musk, vanilla, patchouli,
Gayo.
Patchouli Gayo is the type of patchouli that's used in here, but let's go with patchouli. So what did you think about this one?
This one wasn't all that great for me. I did not have this, spoiler, I did not have this in my top 5. There we go with the strawberry note again. I've mentioned in videos in the past where strawberry doesn't always hit for me, I guess you could say. It doesn't necessarily appeal to me all that much.
You know what? I gotta get you to smell melon and get strawberry.
They have a good one.
Oh, it's good.
I was using
and it doesn't smell like your typical strawberry girly kind of fruity thing.
Yeah, I was just using their hand wash the other day, their rum hand wash. Love that. It smells so good.
But to me, this reminds me of like a fusion of a few styles. I do get Aventus vibes with this. I also get Erba Pura vibes with this. So it's almost like a fusion with some oud in there. But I think it's very fresh and fruity. It's sweet and gourmand a bit. There's the floral touches and all the woods that come in. It's a bit powdery, but you know, it kind of reminds me of a Xerjoff or a Terenzi fragrance personally.
I could see that. It goes in that classic kind of Italian gourmand style that they're known for doing.
Yeah.
And
fruity, fresh, oudy, kind of a gourmand.
It doesn't always hit for me though.
It doesn't?
No. It doesn't go girly. It's definitely kind of in between, which is
unisex.
Nice. It's just something about all the notes together that doesn't strike me right. It might honestly be the strawberries, because strawberries always throw me off in perfumery. I don't know what it is.
But this one, I'm not getting your fruity strawberry. I don't know. It's fruity, but it's almost like non-distinct. I'm not even getting like in your face realistic strawberry smell. I'm like getting the peaches. It's almost like a mashup of the two, which is giving me nondescript fruitiness.
Is that in your top 5?
It's not in my top 5. Is it in your top 5?
No, I would rank it close to my top 5 though.
I would rank that around number 8.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next one, it's ANNONE. This is it right here. ANNONE is oud, saffron, mango, Nagarmotha, which is also Cypriol, rose, iris, amber, white musk, vanilla, and bergamot. Now, I do enjoy this one a little more. This is just out of the top 5. It would be landing at number 6. This to me gives me BR 540 or Baccarat Rouge 540 vibes in a different way. Thoughts?
Sebastian told me about this before we were shooting, how it kind of goes in that BR 540 direction. And I saw it, and I can see it. I think there's definitely that saffron element that's very prominent in BR 540 that's coming out here. There's also a bit of a Middle Eastern vibe. It could be like the Cypriol mixing with the oud and saffron all together.
I think it's the oud that's giving us that Middle Eastern vibe. It doesn't necessarily smell identical to BR 540 or Baccarat Rouge 540. The reminder is there, but this one's enhanced with the oud and intensified with the oud.
Yeah. If you were in the market for BR 540 that doesn't necessarily smell like BR 540, because there are a lot of dupes of BR 540 now, and everyone and their mother is wearing Baccarat Rouge at this point.
I smell them all the time.
All the time, and it leaves a cloud. Like, you can really pick up on it.
I really love the cloud.
Yeah, it's really nice. But if you were looking for something that could be a bit of a alternative that goes in a bit of a different direction, but not too far in a different direction, it could be a really good option.
I think this is a great alternative if you're looking for an alternative, but there's so many alternatives out there.
Yeah, seriously. I get a lot of the mango. I do get quite a bit of fruitiness in it, though.
For me, it's mostly the saffron with oud.
Yeah.
That's what's giving me the oudy kind of BR 540 vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So the next fragrance we're talking about is AUREA. This one right here. AUREA is ambergris, myrtle, yuzu, grapefruit, lime, ginger, mint, juniper, saffron, cedar, tonka, and lychee fruit. This has a lot of freshness, a lot of aromatics, but I feel like the ambergris is a bit too much. It gives me a bit of marine touch, which I'm not a fan of, and he normally is not a fan of.
Usually I'm very against anything marine scented. However,
he likes this. Okay.
This one works for me. And I was speaking with Sebastian before I got in, or right when I got into the studio today, about how my scent appreciation is changing with the seasons and how the warm weather is kind of evoking me to like more citruses and more marine style fragrances. And this is a example of it right here, because I like the yuzu, I like the grapefruit, the lime. It's very bright. And
it's very juicy.
Yeah, it's
very
really
juicy.
Like, you could smell the citrus, which I really appreciate. And I think that might be a reason why the ambergris is more tolerable for me.
No. See, the thing is, maybe you're not getting it, but when it's dried down is when the ambergris really develops.
Well, I have it here.
It goes fishy.
No, I have it here, and it definitely does have that fishy component.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily what cologne smells like.
No,
to me.
no.
It's not that far in that direction.
Yeah.
It's a bearable one, and for me, honestly, it's pretty enjoyable.
Okay,
yeah.
You're changing. Your nose is changing.
Yeah, seriously, it's developing.
I mean, everybody's nose changes, but if you guys like the idea of a citrusy fragrance with like a marine edge, definitely check that one out. Because I think initially I thought it was great, but once I started wearing it, then the ambergris developed, and I'm like, no, there's no way I can tolerate that. But moving on to the next one, this is Cozy Blue. This is definitely in my top 5. I'll let you know where it is. But this is incense, absinthe, benzoin, nutmeg, cinnamon, strawberries, cardamom, sandalwood, ambergris, hay, vanilla, civet, magnolia, rose, jasmine, and lily of the valley. A lot is going on in here, but I love the fusion of the incense and the absinthe. Mm-hmm. Booziness.
Quite nice.
Oh God, it's good.
Yeah.
This is really, really good. One of the best incense fragrances, I think.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah. The name threw me for a loop because, honestly, Cozy Blue...
You thought it was a marine fragrance.
I thought this was going to be the marine fragrance. As opposed to AUREA being the marine fragrance, I would expect Cozy Blue to be it.
I was actually caught off guard, too, because it comes in a blue box. Yeah. I thought it was marine as well, and I stayed away from it for a long time until I'm like, I gotta study this.
It has the perfect amount of spiciness too. Like, the cardamom comes in. I get the cardamom. I get the cinnamon, the nutmeg. All of those spices come in, and it adds to that incense.
But what do you think of the strawberries? They seem to be using strawberries quite a bit here. This is the second fragrance.
I don't
get strawberries from it.
Yeah, I don't really pick up strawberries. I picked it up more so in ANNIVERSARIO.
This is a lot of spices with the incense and absinthe. It's a very bright incense, which...
I also dig it when there's civet in fragrances, so...
Are you picking up civet?
Not necessarily picking up civet, but...
Maybe it's settled just a little bit.
Yeah.
To a little bit of civet, but I don't think it's a civet bomb.
It's not a civet bomb. Definitely not. No.
All right, the next fragrance, the 5th fragrance we're talking about is Dolce Passione, this one right here. So this is definitely on my list of top 5 fragrances from this house. I'll let you know where it is when we get to the end. This is dark chocolate, white truffles, hazelnuts, honey, vanilla, strawberries. There we go with strawberries again.
Strawberries yet again.
Plums, cocoa, tonka beans, white musk, and cherries. This is a super amazing gourmand. When I did the video for the Il Giardino, this is one of the fragrances I thought I would review. When I first sampled this, I thought it was a bit too sweet, but now I'm obsessed with the sweetness. Really delicious gourmand here.
Real photorealistic gourmand. It's
lots of chocolate.
Amazing though.
Just imagine getting one of those fruits like strawberries covered in chocolate or cherries covered in chocolate. Yum.
even a plum covered in chocolate.
Oh, I've never had that before.
They have those.
They do?
They're real good. Yeah. Chocolate covered plums.
Do you get the honey in this too?
I get a bit of a honeyness.
Really get the honey.
I do get a bit of a honeyness, kind of like bordering it, bringing it, rounding it out. But really big chocolate bomb.
This is a really big chocolate bomb. And the thing is, if you've ever walked into any of those Italian stores that sell sweets and pastries and desserts and chocolates, kind of smells like the interior of one of those places, because this also has the hazelnuts. It's very nutty. It's just like a gourmand to the max. Really intense chocolatey gourmand. When
you first smell it, it could be one of those things where you're like a bit overwhelmed, because I had that as well as Sebastian. He said it was like very, very sweet at first. It is extremely sweet, but you have to kind of grow an appreciation for it, and then all of a sudden it becomes this beautiful, sweet fragrance that you love wearing.
That's definitely a number. Whoops, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's Donna Margherita. This one right here.
Another great one.
This is a pretty feminine. I thought there was mimosa in it when I was testing it out. According to the notes, there's no mimosa, but still I'm getting mimosa vibes. The notes are tuberose for the top and the heart notes. We've got jasmine, narcissus, amber, frangipani, and iris. Very feminine leaning fragrance, but I think it's done right.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I really am a fan of this one, actually. I think they take all those white flowers and they bring it in and they make it very pretty. It's like a very nice bouquet. I pick up a lot of tuberose because it is in the top and the heart note. And
it's overdosed.
Yeah, I'm sure they definitely drenched it a bit in tuberose, but I also do pick up some of that jasmine, the frangipani. The iris kind of comes out.
The iris gives you that, powdery effect, but when you're kind of picking out the frangipani, there is a little bit of a tropical floral reminder in there, because frangipani has that tropical smell, kind of have that humid, hot kind of a smell.
Yeah,
because I've smelled plenty of frangipani in tropical climates, and it really amplifies off the tree when you're walking near the tree. So you got that kind of a vibe against the kind of more fresh floral notes in here.
Could be amazing in like the Amalfi Coast during summer.
Oh yeah,
could be incredible.
Wear it and go to Capri.
Yes, go to Capri, Capri, and
or Naples,
wherever you want to go in the Amalfi. Anywhere really, anywhere in Italy.
Yeah,
anywhere with a beach for that matter.
Anyway,
but could be a great beachy fragrance.
Good one, yeah. All right, next up, we're going to the 7th fragrance. It's Il Giardino. This is the fragrance I've reviewed on the channel. You can go catch that video. I really love this one. It is definitely my top 5. It's ivy, pears, apples, leather, vetiver, cedarwood, benzoin, and musk. The note of ivy doesn't come up in fragrances too often. And for me, the smell of the ivy, the leaves, really is strong in the summertime. When it's hot outside, they're just like baking under the sun, and so the smell kind of amplifies. This is a nice fusion of the fruits of the apples and pears with the ivy, and then there's a leathery undertone there in the base as well. Really great fragrance, I think.
Il Giardino's great.
It's juicy, drippy as well with the fruits.
It's very unique as well. I haven't smelled all that many fragrances that actually do compare to this one, or even go in that similar direction.
So it's unique, right?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I enjoy that one a lot because it is fruity. It's green.
It's green and fruity, floral as well.
And you also have that vetiver in there kind of boosting up that greenness. And it dries it out just a tad, but it's still quite drippy and juicy from the pear and the apple.
The thing is, there's definitely something floral in there, even though they're not mentioning flowers. I'm getting some floral touches. Like there's almost like jasmine in there against the ivy, the pears, and the apples. What are your thoughts?
Kind of like a clean white floral in the background.
Maybe even magnolia, because they do amplify with the heat, the smell.
Yeah.
But a really great fragrance. Il Giardino is definitely one of my favorites from this house.
Magnolia works well with leather too, so it's very possible.
Could be. All right, next fragrance is Nerone, this one right here. Sadly, this is not in my top 5, but it is leather with fruit. So it's featuring notes of leather, oud, saffron, raspberry, maracuja, which is passion fruit, cane sugar, tonka beans, coconuts, and vanilla. What is it about this one that I didn't really like?
You tell me. I'll tell you why I don't like it.
It reminds me of a lot of other fragrances.
Yeah.
It's very common smell. Unlike Il Giardino, which is very unique and I love it, this just smells like a lot of other fragrances out there. It's got a very Middle Eastern leathery smell.
Yeah.
Which to me kind of gets boring. Just like the oud and rose combo. I don't know.
It's leather, oud, saffron, raspberry. Those first 4 notes have been listed in so many fragrances that have been created. It's just, it's
Don't forget the maracuja.
Oud Maracuja. Yeah, exactly. From Macy Crivelli.
Although this came out before, but still, I think
What we're trying to say is that there is a formula that is used because it works. And a lot of people will smell this for the first time without having any prior knowledge of oud
and they'll be like,
fragrances.
wow, this is amazing.
And they'll be like, incredible. And then this will be the first ever oud that they purchase, or the first ever leather oud. But
to me, the good thing about this is really potent, really intense.
Yeah, that one lingers for sure.
So if you like a potent oudi leather, definitely try Nerone. All right, next up is a fragrance called Notte di Amore. This one right here. I hope I'm doing my Italian accent good for you guys.
I think it's great.
So this one features notes of oud, amber, bergamot, orange blossom, tonka beans, and rose. So I like this one. It just didn't make my top 5. It's kind of an oudi, citrusy, fresh fragrance. I've smelled things like this before, though. It's pleasant. I could wear this one in the summertime if I want something fresh but with a little bit of a substance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like there have been fragrances created in the past that kind of go down this line a little bit. Not to say it's been done poorly. I think it's been done very well. It's been executed probably as best as they could. However, it's just the commonalities in it to other fragrances that I've smelled is a little bit of a turnoff. And again, a reason why I have it out of my top 5. Other than that, though, I think it's really good. Like,
do you think it's a little boring?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not exciting. You know, it's basically kind of, I don't want to use the word easygoing or dumb reach. You don't have to put a lot of thought into wearing this because it's simple.
Yeah, I have this weird thing with fragrances where if I find a fragrance boring, it kind of smells like one thing. And it doesn't have to be like a specific note, but it could just be like a bunch of notes together creating an accord. And there's like, for me, there's a boring accord. I don't know how to describe it better than that, but
boring accord.
It's a boring accord, and that's kind of what I get from that one, where it's like, we've said it before, but it's not screaming at us for us to wear it.
Yeah. It's not calling us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the next fragrance, the 10th fragrance we're talking about, is my least favorite in the collection. It's Raffaello. This one was a very challenging wear. I don't know why. It's not challenging notes. It just didn't work well with my skin chemistry. And it has a note in here that I love. In fact, I love it in Cozy Blue, but I don't like it here. It's absinthe, teakwood, leather, tonka beans, patchouli, pink and black pepper. But this is a strange fragrance to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's off about it.
It's funny when me and Sebastian were talking about this one, I mentioned soapy. And there's no mention of anything that should really go in a soapy direction here.
It's strange.
But it goes soapy.
And then he says soapy, but dude, I said, look, I've written down soapy in my notes.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, it's soapy, aromatic green, a bit off kind of notes and ingredients.
It's not right for me. I'm sure there will be people out there that appreciate it, depending on what you like in perfumery, but
it's definitely not my favorite, and it looks like it's not his favorite either.
Not, no.
So we agree on some and don't agree on others.
Exactly.
And then finally, the last fragrance, the 11th fragrance we're talking about, remember it's in alphabetical order, it's Trastevere. So that's it right here. This is chestnut cream, vanilla for the top, heart and base notes, caramel, jasmine, davana, and licorice. This one does have a little bit of vibes like By the Fireplace without the smokiness, whatever amount of smoke they have there. This is also kind of sticky, caramelly, butterscotchy.
Very butterscotchy. So butterscotch. The moment he said that word, it was just like, there it is. There it is.
So this is in my top 5. It's another Gourmand. They do the Gourmands pretty well.
This is also in my top 5. I really like this one. Oh my gosh, I'm just smelling butterscotch right now.
Yeah, as soon as you said
it just clicked. I could see eating like a sweet, like a really rich, indulgent sweet, like a caramel butterscotch type of thing. And it just represents in this fragrance so well.
It's very decadent, like a very decadent, very sugary, sweet, highly caloric dessert.
Very indulgent.
Overdosed in the sweetness.
Exactly. So if you have a sweet tooth and you're trying to stop eating sweets, maybe wear a sweet perfume. Maybe that'll help you.
Yeah. It might go on a diet, wear perfume.
It might crave
that
the
smells
fix, yeah.
So that's the 11th fragrance and the last fragrance we're going to talk about. And we're going to give you our top 5 next.
All right.
So on to our ranked list. At number 5 for me, it's Donna Margherita. And even though it's quite feminine, I felt it was really nicely done. Nice white florals and tropical florals in there. To me, it's like a fusion of humid, hot summer tropical island with a fresh, breezy springtime floral bouquet. I think it was nicely done. It's leaning feminine, but out of the entire collection, that is definitely worth it. Worth to put it at number 5.
For me, for number 5, it was a bit of a battle between AUREA, which is the marine leaning fragrance, and Donna Margherita. I ended up going with AUREA.
Okay.
Which is so bizarre, again, that I'm putting a marine fragrance in my top 5, but...
You marine lover, you.
I am a marine lover, I guess you could say. I've converted, but yeah, I have it on skin still, and even from wearing this in the past, I've worn this, I wore this in the city a couple times. I didn't wear this one in San Diego, I don't believe, but this one...
That was probably the best place to wear it.
Honestly, it's probably even better in San Diego, yeah, but this one is doing wonders on my skin still. I think it's working really well, and something about that citrusiness in the opening really helps out with that ambergris that comes out when it dries down.
I really love the opening, but I just don't like it.
Great.
How it settles. And then my number 3 is Trastevere, the really super butterscotchy, sweet, decadent dessert gourmand. I think it's a really great fragrance. I think personally, when I sampled the line back in 2018, 2019, I felt like both Dolce Passione and Trastevere were really sweet. But over the years, I've started really appreciating sweet gourmands, and these are really great fragrances for me. They're unique. Even though I smelled plenty of gourmands, I haven't smelled anything identical. And even though Trastevere reminds me a little bit of By the Fireplace, it's not quite By the Fireplace. I think the reason I brought up By the Fireplace is because of the chestnut cream that's in here. But it's really delicious, super delicious gourmand.
And that's my number 4 as well. Trastevere is going to be right there with Sebastian's number 4 ranking. And I find it just everything that Sebastian said, again, piggybacking off that, it really does sit beautifully on the skin. And it's super decadent, super indulgent. And it's really what you want from a sweet gourmand. It's just everything that I personally want in a sweet gourmand. It's very just in your face, but beautiful at the same time. And like you said, the chestnut cream, it brings a lot of that Italian and French and just European gourmand aesthetic to the fragrance.
It's interesting. I only have chestnuts when I go to Europe, especially France and Italy.
Yeah.
They don't really have a chestnut culture here.
Noisettes, right? Noisette?
No, marron.
Marron?
Well, that's in French. I don't know what it is in Italian. Marron glacé, candied chestnuts. Marron is chestnuts.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is Cozy Blue. Really great incense fragrance. I really love it because it's gotten this freshness, this booziness, this brightness against the dark. I always consider incense to be kind of boring and churchy. Here we've got some excitement with that absinthe note, and it's a pleasure to wear it in such a really nicely done way. I love absinthe and fragrances, and I grew up Christian Orthodox, so I was used to all the incense smell. Here we can, we've got this kind of anisic kind of booziness against that smoky incense touch. I love it.
So good. My number 3 is Il Giardino. Il Giardino is just a very well done fragrance, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Sebastian has it fairly high. He's spoken about it on the channel before. But everything that they did in Il Giardino, I'm here spelling it again, but everything that they did was just executed to a T. I think they understood the brief really well. Everything that they were going for just worked super well. And then it does kind of have a bit of that like white floral cleanness in there as well, which I really appreciate.
And speaking of Il Giardino, that's my number 2. I love it. It's unique. It's different. It's not anything like Nerone, which reminds me of a lot of other oudi leather fragrances. It's not anything exciting.
No.
But this one is exciting because it's so unique, using ivy against apples and pear with the leather and that kind of clean white floral that's there as well. I think it's super amazing. You can wear that in the heat. Awesome stuff.
Amazing fragrance.
And what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Cozy Blue.
Oh.
Going back to that incense
So we reversed it?
Yeah, we flipped it a little bit. But for an incense fragrance, it's stunning. I think it's done so well. And again, the packaging was a little bit misleading. The blue box, the blue in the name, I was thinking marine. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because what they put into that fragrance and the concoction that they created was stunning to me. I thought it was a beautiful incense, and for me, I think I could wear that all year round.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool thing. I think maybe they should have called it Cozy Green because absinthe is green usually. Maybe they should have called it that.
I could see that.
But
I don't know.
Anyway, my number 1 is Dolce Passione.
Same.
With a really delicious chocolatey, fruity gourmand. It's so well.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I almost feel like when you're wearing that fragrance, somebody's eaten cookies and thrown in the crumbs in there. Because I get a weird cookie crumb vibe.
Okay.
But not like a full cookie, but just the crumbs.
Yeah.
The little fragrance of the cookie crumbs.
They have a smell.
They do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and that's my number one as well.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's everything Sebastian said and more. It's a beautiful, chocolatey, nutty fragrance with loads and loads of sweetness that's just like coming at you at once. And in my opinion, I think it's even a little bit more in your face than Trastevere was.
Oh,
I personally,
I was going to ask you, do you consider Dolce Passione sweeter or Trastevere?
I honestly think, they're two different kinds of sweets.
To me, I get a sweeter experience with butterscotch. And since I get a lot of butterscotch from Trastevere, I'm saying it's sweeter.
Yeah, I think Trastevere is sweeter. I think Dolce Passione is more just like boom in your face. It's more of a wall of fragrance, if that makes sense. But both stunning gourmands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're curious to check out these fragrances, head over to Max Aroma. I have a link in the info box. Otherwise, appreciate you tuning in. Stay tuned for another house overview video soon. But please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.